All right, roll call. Beck,
Here.
Carlstead,
Here.
Cleary,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Manning,
Here.
O'Brien,
Here.
Watts.
Approval of the minutes from the October 7th meeting.
Make motion to approve minutes from October 17th.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. First one we're looking at. The order's okay, John, as it sits.
Yes, sir, it's correct.
416 Wilderness Drive addition.
Okay, this one is fairly simple. If you look at the floor plan of it, it is basically an out the back addition of their garage. I did have some back and forth with the applicant because the original garage design was too large. According to our regulations, it needed to be, I think, the 1200 with the cap here. But they did rearrange and create a storage room. So that is now not included in the garage dimensions, and the garage dimension, now square footage of the garage does comply with our requirements. The rest of the appearance is going to match the existing structure. I don't believe I had really any other comments on that one.
So it looks like there's is there no connection between the upper level of the addition and the existing upper level?
I thought there was. Yeah, there's a little stair, a little hallway that connects over. It goes over the existing garage and then connects into the main house.
And it looks like it's just a bedroom, bath, no kitchenette or anything like that, from what I saw.
Correct, yeah. A bedroom, full bath, closet. So it classifies as a bedroom.
But so are they?
There was a comment on one of the first architectural drawings. It says that this was a sketch.
Yeah, for planning and zoning, they usually don't have construction ready drawings yet. So it is okay for it to say 90% drawings or sketch at this stage.
So will they be eliminating stairway in the existing house? Because I know that there's new stairs, but we don't have any existing floor plan.
Yeah, after you said that, so it looks like what I'm looking at is the first floor has a little connection in a stairway up to that bedroom. So there's no connection from second floor to second floor. The only way to get to this bedroom is through the house, through this little tunnel of a stairway into the second floor. So it looks like they're not modifying the existing house really at all.
Is there any concern this is an accessory apartment?
That's what somebody else was mentioning. There's no kitchenette. So unless you have all 4 living criteria, it is not an ADU.
Would this be a good project to apply in our building code 16A1720, notice of use restrictions as condition of building permit? One of the conditions, 16A1720B, requires that a condition for building permit is that they're given notice that this does not authorize or permit the occupancy as an accessory or lock-on. I've seen these come and go prior to my time on this planning commission. And I just, I don't know that that's the case. I can also see that there's no kitchenette. However, it's odd that there's no connection of the existing to the new as far as living space. It's just a garage with its own stairway.
Can we do that, Kyle?
I believe that wholly in your realm here. That's for you to discuss.
I'll read it real quick. Condition for building permit. Prior to issuance of a building permit for the improvement of any lot as provided in A above, it just talks about the creation of or expansion, remodeling, etc. So without reading all of it, The owner of such lot shall execute a notice to be recorded by the town in the real property records for the lot, which gives notice that the issuance of the building permit does not authorize or permit the occupancy of the building or structure as an accessory apartment, walk-off unit, or additional dwelling unit. And such occupancy is specifically prohibited by the Town of Blue River Municipal Code. The form of such required notice shall be promulgated by the town. You know, I mean, we can't see what they do, but I'll tell you, I think we all know, garages with welding and vacant space above were always finished as apartments. It's what kind of happened throughout the town. Most of those are bandit units, and the cost to make them appropriate is astronomical. So whether the town goes down the road or not to allow them in the future remains to be seen. But at this time, if this were to be used as a separate dwelling, this at least covers the town to say, hey, you signed documentation that stated that it was not to be used as a separate dwelling. I mean, I'm just pointing it out because I've seen it come and go many times.
If that is incorporated into the motion, could you make sure and email me a copy of that? Because my shorthand's not as quick as it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not dictating anything here. I'm just pointing it out. I don't know what the intent of the use of this space is. However, I will say that staff in the past took a hands-off approach to say, well, we have no right to ask anybody. When I see no connection between existing and new, I have to ask. Is the applicant on the line?
So I think whoever, or if you make the motion, you would include that in the motion to be included within the stipulation of the permit.
Yes.
And I'm not against that.
No.
Looking at the space, it wouldn't be much of a kitchen.
No, I see the same,
But you know, anything can happen.
right.
Yeah.
But just
I-
from now on, that'd be a good thing to roll in
I
there.
mean, it's not preventing them.
Yeah, I mean, we might get another one that has something right there and we can just start putting that in there.
I mean, as drawn on the plans, it appears, designed as like a larger master bedroom. And there is no, the way the original house is built, like, you have to go into the main floor garage to then access the staircase to get to that second floor. I mean, short of like adding a staircase outside of that footprint.
Well, again, we just heard that these drawings are a
Yeah.
sketch.
Yeah.
What does that mean? They're not for construction.
But I think
It's outlined.
you would have to see
Yeah.
virtually what we're seeing here before you give the.
Correct. The
Yeah.
floor plan is what you're approving. So there's
Yeah.
minor details that make it a sketch, but the final construction drawings would have to match what your approval is today, which is the
Right.
floor plan.
I mean, it's detailed, master bath, master closet,
I see it.
like,
I looked at it.
I mean, I totally understand where you come from, but I don't think like putting a note on there, like on condition of this approval. Just to cover our butts, essentially.
I mean, it might be the first time it's been applied, but it's going to be code now for a while.
Yeah.
I would make a motion that we approve 416 Wilderness with the condition per 16A 1720 B, condition for building permit. And I will email Steve a copy of it.
It's second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to 310 Rio Azul Road.
Okay, this one was applied for right after Michelle left, and we didn't realize how much Michelle did around here. So it was applied for in an incorrect method. It applied for more along a lot line elimination type path. So that's why there's no proper application was submitted, because when they applied, they were not given the correct documentation. I did receive all the information that would have been in that original application. I'm talking about the 3-page PDF that indicates what page number all the requirements are at. That's the application I'm talking about. So as far as the applicant's concerned, he did do all the applications that he was given. I did find an issue with the building height. Our building height is determined from either the existing grade or the final grade to the highest point on the ridge. I scaled it on his drawings to 35 foot 1 inch. We all know scaling it is not the most precise method. So the applicant did respond back with some more details on the very end of this document here, saying the exact specifications that his surveyor indicates as height. And he is saying it is 34 feet. Yeah, very close. So he's given himself a couple more inches by using much more advanced measuring techniques than I was able to do as a plan reviewer on a PDF. Originally, there was no color board, but he did provide the color board before this went into your packet, and you can see the color board down again towards the end of the application. I believe those were the only two issues I ran into. This is a full new build with gable roof, 1012 and 212 roof systems.
I think it looks good. Yeah, the height was the only thing that I saw that I thought was off, but if he's in that 34 plus, otherwise, this is the kind of house we're looking for with those others lower pitched, with gables and stuff broken up. It looks nice to me.
I do believe the applicant is online. He did raise his hand, by the way.
It's actually over 6,000 with the garage, and we don't have any fire suppression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So it's over 6. Is it 6,000?
Yes. So it will be required to be sprinkled.
How do you?
This is Brandon with Rooted Architecture. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Yeah. How do you?
Well,
He's got to unmute himself.
oh yeah, unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just here if you guys have any questions or need a little bit more detail. We did calc those roof heights, and they're, like you said, a couple inches under. We'll probably, before it's all said and done and issue permit, like to see that more along the lines of 6 inches under, just so we can have a little more room for tolerance. But yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts or questions, I'm here.
Good concerns or
Can we make a motion?
anybody object to Doug making a motion?
No, I mean, I don't see anything else for us to really.
No. I make a motion to approve. What is it?
310.
What is it? 210,
310.
310.
Ah. 210, 3, so whatever it is. As presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're done with that, and
Yeah, I just had some updates to give you guys. Back in April or so, I brought up doing a code adoption, moving to the 24 codes. The Red, White, and Blue Fire Department has finally given me their recommendations for amendments to the fire code. So I am now ready to propose an ordinance to the Board of Trustees for that. I did include everything we talked about before about worry about costs and things like that, the snow loads. We're not making change shoes, no structural changes. All of those we talked about. I will provide a cost analysis change. And the only difference is the energy code is 1 to 3% more stringent cost-wise. So that will be the cost difference from the 18 to the 24 codes. I will be preparing that ordinance and sending it to Steve to put on one of the agendas. I just wanted to let you guys know that that's coming.
Is it gonna come to us prior to going to the board of trustees?
No, Michelle was thinking we've already done that.
Michelle, who?
So, yep, you, Steve, you guys can figure out how you guys want to do this process.
Yeah, Kyle, is there any pressing need to get this done in a hurry? Because they're gonna be pretty busy. I know December is just swamped already, at least what my tentative agenda. Is this something they could consider after the first of the year then?
Yeah, I was thinking January or February. For the
Okay.
trustees. We have
If you
two
push it,
deadlines.
you push it to February, I won't be here, so.
April 1st, we have to adopt a wildland code, and
Okay.
July is another deadline with energy code we want to miss. So we want an effective date before July or April 1st.
Is there any reason we wouldn't wanna get a look at this final version? I mean,
I will be sending it to Steve so he can forward it to you. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
it would have been nice to have it here for this discussion.
I'm not done with it yet.
I think we should do it like, I mean, the track you're running down is that we'd see it and then the trustees would see it.
I mean, obviously.
I think
we had
that's what
no-
Dan's talking about, and
Yeah,
go ahead.
if we had no agenda item, I wouldn't dictate it on January, but it just seems logical that time has passed. You've made changes, we're hearing that the changes were what we discussed, but without seeing it in front of us, it's hard to know that.
Fair enough. That's why I'm bringing it to your attention.
Yeah.
So you have some time to make decisions. From past discussions, back with Michelle, back with the attorney, they were thinking this isn't really a planning and zoning thing, it's a building code thing. So they were kind of thinking it's a little bit of a different lane.
Well, it's just the attorney and Steve is a fill-in now, the other person is,
Right, I
Why?
was filling you in for the conversations I had, so
Yeah.
that's why, my plan was to move straight to the Board of Trustees in January or February.
I think it would be valid for us, I think the trustees would like us to even see it probably. what
Usually
do you
they
guys
do.
think?
They're most of them aren't real familiar with.
I can tell you, I was at the meeting when it came in front of them. And I'm not gonna put any words in anybody's mouth, but they looked like they were not prepared to really make any decisions based on that. This was like technical jargon that I don't think many boards would address. They'd like to probably hear from you as the professional and us only if we had comments.
Right.
But, you know,
Okay, would you like to see me do another, like a work session type presentation to you in January about the changes?
That'd be good.
Very similar to what we did back in April? Okay, that's fine. If there's no meeting in January,
you could send it out, we could make comment.
If
If
needed.
needed.
Yeah, maybe that would suffice if there's no agenda for January.
okay,
Excuse my possible ignorance on this topic, but the push to do this is to comply with this, like, is there some compliance that the state, federal, that we need to comply with to get something, like, why is?
Why April 1st, right?
so April 1st is the deadline that we must adopt a wildland code. So at that point, instead of just adopting the wildland code, we might as well adopt our whole code package because we're ready to go anyway. And July 1st is a deadline for energy code. If we miss that July 1st deadline, we have to adopt a model low energy code, which means much more stringent, less fuel fired appliances.
But it's just, you say we have to, and if you don't, what happens? Like, what are we losing if you don't do this?
Mostly grants is the biggest thing, that we're more than 6 years past on codes, and state grants require you to do it in 6 years. The other one is our company is applying for a ISO rating, the BCEGS rating, which will reduce your insurance rates in the town. We can only include the.
You sure of that? I've been
I
told
know.
that before.
I almost didn't say that. But for the town to be included in that rating, you have to be on a code cycle less than 6 years old. So same idea. So the 6 years is the problem.
And my other question, when we eventually see this, is how does that affect additions? Because, and I'm not a builder, but it would seem if you have a new energy code, when you put an addition on that, that's gonna get really, if the addition has to comply, then that gets really a little more
The
complicated.
24 is identical to the 18. So the 21 became more stringent, but then the 24 actually came back down. So there's actually no change in your basic energy code stuff. The 1 to 3% cost becomes your light switches actually, because you have to have motion sensor light switches
Throughout the house.
Seriously?
in habitable areas. Yeah. So that's actually the only change. Everything else.
Short.
So what, hey, let's ask an outside the box
They're in
question.
Canada right
Here's an outside the box question. So what grants have we ever received? Are we talking about only energy efficient related grants? Or would it prohibit the town from applying for like road grants?
It's just housing
Infrastructure grants? What's that?
just housing related grants. But
And who
it's more
receives those funds?
Which we'll talk about all this next time. We don't need to get into it.
Well, I
too
mean,
much
it's worth discussing because we always hear that, oh, we gotta do it. It sounds so necessary. But the reality is that if the town has never benefited from any of these housing dollars and maybe they don't even want to, why would we want to make construction so cost prohibitive? You know, occupancy sensors inside of a residential home? That's
Yeah,
all.
they're
I'm saying.
not full occupancy sensors. It's just you have to turn the lights off within 20 minutes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Quasi. But anyway, that's something to think about. We'll discuss this at depth. Jane.
Right.
The next item I wanted to tell you about is I've been working on a new AI program. It's a custom GPT for the town of Blue River building department. So when you log into this AI bot, it will know you're talking about Blue River and it has all of our custom requirements logged in. So when you ask a question like something technical, it'll spit out exactly our requirements. Bringing this up because I'm also going to include the land use code in there. So it will have a lot of requirements that will apply to you. So once I get that up and running, hopefully by the first of the year, I want you guys to test it out, make sure it doesn't have any issues with it. Cool. So I will be sending everything to Steve, and he will be farming things out as necessary to you guys.
Sounds good.
And then I guess maybe for Steve, we mentioned as a group at the last meeting in regards to bringing the shed square footage back to a more reasonable where it was at 200 square feet. And I guess is that still in the works with the trustees instead of the 400 square feet?
It is, but as I said at the last meeting, I can't put that as a priority for them based on some of the other issues, and I haven't had a chance to research. So I've got the notes there. I haven't dropped the ball on it, and I've actually got it on a list of things to get either myself or whomever is following me to move forward. So I haven't dropped the ball on it. It's just you guys need to realize that with short-term rentals, and I'm in the hiring process, I had a budget due to do, and we've got some things coming up in December with a franchise agreement. I just haven't been able to get to it, but it will not drop off my radar screen.
Great, thank you. That's all I'm asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Appreciate the patience.
I was gonna apologize. I made some promises on that setback issue. I knew that they were buried in other topics. So I prioritized some things over it, but I still understand that I owe you some things in addition to what we talked about tonight on that section. So I'll email you.
Yeah, I liked your language, and I had an opportunity to have to deal with a setback issue and make a determination as Kyle did with regard to trying to interpret it, what that really means, for the building envelope and stuff like that. So, boy, it's not perfect science. Of course, I'm not quite sure when you're dealing with rights of way, it's perfect science in Blue River anyway. So anything that you can give me, I appreciate it.
Steve, not to pile on here, and I do not think that this is an urgency, but I would request that if it hasn't been brought to the trustees, that they clarify the roofing rules with regard to shed roofs, hopefully before we have to approve or vote on another property that has substantial shed roofs.
Probably would be more appropriate. I'm not quite sure that trustees will weigh in on that, but what I should do, sir, is I should probably just bring it up with the attorney. I know what my interpretation was, and I think I shared that with you at the last meeting, but I probably should confirm my assumptions with the city attorney and then get back with you guys on that. it's frustrating. I heard the prior to the meeting conversation and stuff, and I know you guys want to do the right thing. So I think that probably between the attorney and I, we can give you an answer.
I think I know what that answer will be, and I guess, you know, my struggle is one of precedence, and I know it's not our role here to vote on precedence, but personally, I feel that that's influenced me. And these reviews go in front of the trustees also, so they saw them and they can vote contrary to what our committee votes. And that's my knowledge, they haven't. So at least by agreeing to what we've agreed to previously, which I based somewhat on precedent, you know, I just, again, I think it's, I feel that they should address, it should be addressed by the trustees. I kind of know how I would interpret the regulation. I recall your discussion and I respect that. But again, and again, I know that these guys are super busy now. So not an urgency, but I think it would, again, help me at least in my role if the trustees gave an opinion.
Okay.
What we've been doing is not, again, as I review, it's not what's written. What I've been doing, I should say, put it that way.
And I talked to Bob this afternoon in regards to inspections on homes that the one that I think we touched base on, Kyle, where the last that I'm aware of and that you'd mentioned or Whit had mentioned was the last inspection was slab prep, and now it's framed. There's a roof on it. There's been plumbers there for weeks on end for a garage. And it, from the way Whit spoke was you really just can't go on. But the way that Bob spoke was if we ask Steve to look it up and then he can request you guys to go and do an inspection there because it's gone through many stages past. There's been a lot of, many stages since slab prep that should be inspected.
Okay. I never followed up with Whit since I gave that to him to follow up to. He said he was gonna go out there and look at it.
Okay,
It gets really tricky unless they request an inspection. Yeah, we need to get Bob involved. And
well,
Get to the hearing.
Bob made it sound like it should be in the code that you have to get inspected. And that the town manager would request an inspection if you haven't seen any, if there hasn't been any that haven't taken place, and you see that it's progressed way beyond many steps or many inspections past the last one.
agreed. Yeah, like I said, I didn't talk to Whit, so let me talk to him, see what he actually saw when he was there.
Yeah,
And we'll go from there on that one.
yeah.
But this is kind of where a code officer would really bridge that gap.
Well, how can we fill it in so that doesn't occur? Right? I mean, if we know it's, why do we need a code officer if we know that the last one was a slab prep? Windows are set, you don't even know how the siding is or the sheeting on the framing was nailed. I mean, and the siding's on now, and you don't know if there was the underlayment for the roof.
Okay.
All
This is confusing me. I'm not caught up enough on this project, so let me get with Whit and see what he dug into.
yeah. Okay. So do we need to ask Steve to make a request, or what's the process? Because Bob said he's kind of out of it. It's all kind of already there within the code that you need to do these inspections.
Yeah, if you want to ask Steve just to make sure we're all on the same track and we can follow up with it later, we can do that. But I don't know enough information about what's happening right now to make a determination. So if you want to recommend Steve to do something,
Yeah, that
we'll
would
all
be great.
follow together. You can do that.
Steve, could you make a recommendation or a request of inspection on that property?
Yeah, what's the property again, sir?
The address is, I know it's Mariposa, and I don't know the number. Is that something you'd have handy, John, or?
Just gonna look it up and see.
Thank
real quick. Is it 47 Mariposa?
That's probably the only open permit there, isn't it?
The garage edition.
Yes.
47.
Yeah. 47.
47 Mariposa, and what did you want, sir? You want me to obviously let Kyle talk to Whit, but then if necessary, when they report back to me, make a request to do a reinspection of that property?
Yeah, since the last inspection that was done, my understanding was slab prep.
Okay.
I do see a roof underlayment in July.
Oh. So what other ones are?
Footing, foundation walls, underground plumbing, slab prep, and underlayment. So I'll follow up with Whit and I'll
Yeah.
see if.
No, I just wanna, cause through the grapevine, through a very reliable source, they were bragging how they're gonna rent the place as a dwelling. So, and like you said, the garage addition, which I remember that coming through, and we debated it for some time, and they swore up and down that there's no living quarters there.
And I remember Michelle following up with this. as
Let's
well.
leave that name out because she's no longer with us.
Fair enough, I'm just
Yeah,
getting my knowledge base. I
Yeah.
remember that
yeah,
these discussions did occur,
yeah.
that we have concerns. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kyle, you'll follow up with Whit, and then you'll report back to me, whether email or whatever, what you found and what you need from me.
Yeah.
The rails many months ago.
Yeah.
It should have been punched into place.
Yeah.
Allow that.
Well, I guess anybody else have any? Everybody ready to go home? Make a motion to adjourn?
Go, Gordon. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Good job.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
That's
See you guys.